Basically, there are two types of visual aids, high-tech and low-tech. Low-tech are graphs and diagrams and pictures that you print out and show. High-tech use software like PowerPoint and Keynote, and you project them onto a screen. I'll give some ideas for both, that fit both, that are appropriate for both. First, keep them simple. Don't have a lot of complicated ideas. Use one color or a few colors, one font. Try to keep things the same size. In my presentation, I will use this graph. I won't use the graph on the bottom. If it happens to be appropriate to the audience, I might, but in general, keep it very simple. Also, don't have a lot of text. In my presentation, my example presentation, I will use this picture. I won't use the bottom picture. There's too much text. If there's a lot of text on your visual aid, the audience has to decide between reading and listening to you. It's best to show something very simple and explain it to the audience so that they don't have to read. Also, you don't have to use a lot of visual aids. Steve Jobs, when he wrote about giving presentations, said to keep them at a minimum. Maybe one or two for each of your main points. Keep them simple. You don't need a lot of them. And finally, refer to them, point to them, discuss them. But don't turn your back on your audience, and keep referring back to connect with your audience. Keep your eye contact with your audience. Don't focus all your attention on the slide. Maintain contact. Simple slides, not too much text. Keep it simple. That's my advice. First, explain the purpose of the visual aid. This bar graph shows how. This bar graph explains who. This bar graph demonstrates how many. Examples like that. Then describe the chart or the graph. Explain the different parts so the audience understands what it shows. Finally, make sure the audience gets the point. Emphasize what you want to get across to them. For example, if I were to interview 15 people and ask them which of 3 countries they would like to visit, I might show the results in a chart like this. I would start by saying, this chart shows the results of my research. The title is, Where Would You Like to Visit? The source of my information is my own research. The y-axis shows the number of people. The x-axis shows the 3 countries. The legend tells us that the blue bar shows the number of people that chose each country. Looking at this chart, it's very clear that an equal number of people chose each country. 5 chose Australia, 5 the UK, and 5 the United States. The people who chose Australia did it mostly for nature. The people who chose the UK said it was for sports. Specifically, 3 people wanted to watch Premier League football games. The people who chose the United States were split between sports, baseball and basketball, and nature. One person saying he wanted to visit the Grand Canyon specifically. What is clear is that an equal number of people chose each country. Again, start by telling what the chart is for. What is the purpose? For example, this chart shows results of my research. Then describe the parts. Give the title, talk about the axes, the source, and the legend. Explain the different parts. Then tell what the chart demonstrates and make sure the audience understands the point. Also, notice how the speaker, in describing the chart, gave extra information about the different choices. That's very important. Giving information about what the researcher learned while doing the interviews.